It's a Tuesday. I went on a little hike. You can't even really call it a hike. I went on a trail and I'm here. And this isn't too far from our house, but there's a lot of mosquitoes. I was sitting on the ground and I thought, oh geez, I don't know. Maybe if at least if I sit on a bench, I won't be so close to the wet ground and the mosquitoes. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. And my tripod actually broke when I got out here, so I'm holding it in my hand, and I believe that's what it's meant to do. And I may turn this off and on more than I'd like to because there are other people that walk through this trail. I just had to do that. I want to also have a disclaimer on this video because I'm going to be talking about things that might affect people with ED or the diet culture or things that maybe get people, triggered. So it's my story. I'd like to talk about it, but I'd also like to warn those who really aren't ready for this kind of talk to just not watch this video. I recently did a short about having a wake-up call, and it's not like I haven't been to the doctors. I don't have a health scare, and quite honestly, I don't like to get on the scale. But I did get on the scale and I saw a number I have never, ever seen before. And it was very close to a number I said I would never reach. And I know that sounds weird, but I live here in Southern California and there's a really big pressure on body image and looking a certain way. And even growing up in the 70s and watching my mom and just watching how people, it was so important in that time and era that they took care of themselves. Like my mom, I don't know when it was. I think it was in the 80s. So let's say in the 80s, I was around 10 and Jane Fonda VHS tapes came out of her exercising in her cute little leotard. And my mom did Jane Fonda workout tapes on a regular basis. So you know what? I was young in my tweens, let's say, and I also did it because my mom was doing it. I was like, I want to do Jane Fonda workout videotapes too. So I did that. And then I got into high school, and my highest weight in high school was 115 pounds. We had a gym membership as a family. My mom went every night after work, got a frozen yogurt for dinner, and we did aerobics. And I would go do aerobics with her, and we had trainers and this and that. I was 115 pounds. And I always thought I was fat. At 115 pounds, I thought I was fat. That is so weird to me because that is insane. But I did because it was sort of like the culture I grew up in. Or going to a family function and a relative saying, oh, looks like you've gained some weight. And I'm like tiny in all sense of the words, tiny. I'm 5'4", 115 pounds. I think when they were saying that, I was maybe 120. I'd gained a little weight. So when I got married young. I was 23. And before I got married, of course I wanted to be in shape. So I did Cindy Crawford workout tapes. And those really, if you've ever done those, they really kick your butt. But I got into a very strong place for me because she does a lot of squats. I was strong, but I also was still small. I was 125 pounds when we got married. And compared to some of my friends, that was kind of on the bigger side, being 125. But I felt strong and I felt powerful and I felt good. And I was secure in that 125 at that time. So when I got married, I just felt beautiful and strong. And then marriage, there's always the marriage thing. You get comfortable with the marriage. And for me, growing up, I didn't have soda pop in the house. I didn't have ding dongs and all that kind of junk food. So when I got married, I was like, I'm going to buy Coke and I'm going to get ding dongs and I'm going to do what I want. And I ate like very, very not nutritional things. And I gained, a good amount of weight in the first year of marriage. So I'd say I gained weight and like 10 pounds. I went from 125 to 135 pretty quick. Then we decided to have children and we did it pretty quickly. So by the time I got pregnant with my first child, I was 25 at delivery, 25 years old. And I don't know how my weight was then. I can't recall those things like my pregnancy weight. That never mattered to me because I was pregnant. It didn't matter. However, after having children, I remember kind of staying steadily at 145. And guess what? I thought I was fat. And then being in the workforce for a little while, just raising kids and all that, I think I remember going up another 10 pounds and kind of maintaining 155 for a while. And guess what? I felt fat. And then I joined Weight Watchers, and we did like Body for Life, and we did all these things to try to, lose weight and, look good. And I was always focused on the number on the scale, always. And it's so crazy because as time went along, I just kept gaining 10 pounds and 10 pounds and 10 pounds. So I remember then getting stuck, in the 155s and the 165s and always feeling fat. Like, what is going on? Like, every single weight I felt fat. So that doesn't seem healthy. But there was just all that comparison and people saying things like, yeah, she's beautiful, but if she would just lose weight, she's got a beautiful face, and if she lost weight, she'd be all it, That's not what it's about. That is not what it's about. It really is about being healthy and feeling good. And so lately, okay, so I've gone through menopause. I think I'm kind of on the other side. I don't know. I think my 40s were the whole 40 period was premenopausal. It was horrifying. It was terrible. I gained even more weight. And I seem to be just propelling forward to just keep putting more weight on. In my lifetime, I said I never want to reach 200. That's for me personally. I'm 5'4". I just never wanted to see the number 200 on the scale. And I've been off work for the last year and a half, and I've been making videos for YouTube, and I've been creating, but I haven't been super active. I went on a walking thing where I was trying to walk every day. Then it got hot, and I had the excuse of, it's so hot, I don't want to walk. So I stopped walking. Oh my gosh, there's mosquitoes. I don't know if I could do this much longer. I'm going to make this short. Anyway, I got on the scale last week, and it was 198. And that's very close to 200. And even though I keep saying right here, it's not about the number on the scale, there are a few things that I do know. I get winded easy on my little walks. It feels like I'm carrying like so much weight around when I walk, and I can feel it. I get tired easy. I'm unmotivated. I'm depressed. All the things that go with health, it's not just about the number, it's about everything that goes with the number. So I decided I'm going to start eating whole. And what that means to me, and I don't want to go crazy because it has to be sustainable. And me and RJ were talking on the way here to this beautiful, beautiful place. We were talking about how we can't get crazy with this. Yesterday I had an unexpected day, and I was at a courthouse the entire day pretty much, from 8 a.m. until I think it was 4 p.m. And it was a long day, and the benches were hard, and there was no comfortable place to sit. And I did bring food to eat, but there came a point where okay, let's just walk outside. There was an In-N-Out, and I decided with the people I was with to get In-N-Out, but to do it a different way. So I got a double protein style, a water with lemon and no fries. To me, that's a win. To me, that is sustainable, let's just say. And, or I even said to myself when I saw Jen this weekend and we went to not the Renaissance Fair, we went to the Sawdust Festival. And I thought, if she were to want a glass of wine, I will have a glass of wine. But I'm not going to have a glass of wine every night, and I'm not going to especially have 2 or 3 glasses of wine every night. But I can have a glass of wine on a special occasion, or even a Friday night. I just need to do things that aren't in excess, and I tend to do that. Everything I do full bore, and then I get burnout, and then I go, I'm back to whatever it was. Oh my gosh. Let me try standing. The bugs are it's beautiful out here, but the bugs, and I do think they're mosquitoes, so that's not good. So I want to be able to do this in a very, just sustainable way? Is it possible? So I think it's a good idea to eat whole foods, to eat things that aren't processed. So I'm going to try to avoid as much as I can processed food, but I'm also going to every now and then, RJ's calling it a 90-10. Like every day have a 90-10, not a week of 90-10, but every day 90-10. So you can mostly eat, or I can mostly eat healthy whole foods. And then there's that 10% where I might have that glass of wine or a bar of chocolate or a dessert or something processed, you know, maybe even a garlic bread. I don't know. I just want to be able to do this in a very reasonable way. I've always heard that food is the biggest part of it. We could exercise our butts off, but if we're not eating right, it's not going to change. So for me, when I saw that number on the scale at 198, I thought, okay, it was a wake-up call. So what I'm doing is every day I have a successful day. I am writing it on the inside of the crane, and I'm folding a crane, and I'm going to start collecting my cranes, as I mentioned in my short. And I'm going to see how I do. And I'm just going to take one day at a time. And sometimes you got to take 1 minute at a time. But I'm really saying this in a very quick way because literally I can feel every little bug land on me and it doesn't feel good. I don't like it. So I will see you next time. And just, you know, I'll be checking in here and there. I have been doing those not shorts. Well, they are kind of like shorts. They're not very long videos of me voiceovers of just things that are beautiful to me. I'm going to keep doing that, but I'm also going to keep doing this. It's like called variety. And I'm going to keep being me because that's the most important thing to be, is to be yourself entirely. And I'm not going to feel pressure anymore. I'm just going to keep going and do me. I forgot to mention, like my hat says, good things take time. So remember that. So until next time, peace, love, and where is it? Keep